Week 7 NFL Power Rankings, and I do listen to you guys. So this is still a fairly new channel. Roughly a year ago it started. And a lot of these things I love to do, but I do take your feedback into it. And some people are saying I need to condense it a little bit more, not so much talk. They want to see the rankings. They want to get into it. And some people say they want to see a more full-blown out player team evaluation, spend more time on it, make like a full hour episode. So we're going to try a couple different things here. I want to know, this is where I'm looking for feedback. I want to know in the comments what you guys would like to see on Power Rankings. Full analysis on why I chose what I chose, where I chose, like going into it like 2-3 minutes on every single team. Or would you rather see a quick Power Rankings because you just want to see where things fall? Today, I'm going to do more of a quicker condensed version. We're just going to fly right through this thing, show you where they rank. Because there's mixed feedback on both of those things. And I'm totally open to what you guys want to see from this. I will break through real quick and show you what I do. In my power rankings, they're different than most other power rankings because I do always in my top 14. I'll break it down and I'll show the first part of the power rankings, the bottom 18 teams basically. And then the last screen will be the top 14 teams because I do 7 from the NFC, 7 from the AFC. And that doesn't always equate to who should be the 14 best teams in the league. Because right now, if you look at the bottom left there, AFC has 6 teams that are above 500. So not 500, but 500 or better. And the NFC has 9 teams that are 500, above 500. So clearly the NFC has a stronger mix of teams right now. And the NFC North is absolutely stacked with every team has a winning record in the NFC North. But not every team can make the playoffs. And I did make a boo-boo last week. I didn't put an NFC West team in the top 14. So I've corrected that this week. And the Niners look like they should be in the top of the power rankings anyway. So I've corrected that. But that's how my power rankings are. So you'll see at the bottom of the top 14, there will be some AFC teams that probably shouldn't be included in the top 14. But that's how I do my power ranking. Because when we get to the end of this season, there will be 7 teams from the AFC and 7 teams from the NFC that will make the playoffs. So here's a quick view of the standings as things stand right now after we've finished week 6. And you can see there on the left, the Chargers are the last above 500 team at 3-2, and then you've got the Colts and the Broncos that are both 3-3, so they're at 500. And on the right, you've got all the way down to the Eagles at the 9th spot, who are 3-2, so all above 500. And then you've got the Cowboys and the Seahawks that are 3-3 still. So 11 teams in the NFC that are 500 or above. So there's clearly more winning happening in the NFC up to this point, and more bigger margins of victory as well in the NFC side. And I always do my biggest riser and farthest faller of the week. And really, the rankings didn't change a ton this week because this was a pretty chalk week. Teams that won or that were supposed to win did win, and teams that weren't supposed to win didn't win. So really, your bottom and top of the rankings stay pretty firm. But then in the middle, there's some teams like the Eagles. They didn't play poorly. That's subjective. They didn't blow out the Browns, but they still won. And there's going to be some Eagles fans that aren't happy because they're going to, this is kind of a spoiler for the video, but they're going to fall out of the top 14 because, as I showed, they're kind of on the bottom half of that winning record for the NFC, but only 7 can make it from the NFC, and then the Niners need to go back into the power ranking top. So the Eagles are kind of just a victim of having a poor game against the Browns, but still having a winning record, but not showing up as much as other teams who are at the top of the NFC, who are the top 7. So the Eagles are going to fall out of the playoff portion of the power rankings, but still right there on the verge. And then the Colts and the Packers had decent wins, but nobody else was really rising and falling. And both of them showed they should be closer to the top of the power rankings as well, top of the non-playoff power rankings. So they had to move up because other teams in that middle mix kind of fell down. So not a huge riser or faller for this week. Nothing dramatic changed. And you're going to see that the top and the bottom basically stay, for the most part, the same. All right, so for my power rankings, I've got the Patriots at 32, no move. The little dashes show where they've gone. The Browns, 31, no move. Panthers, 30, no move. So the bottom is going to stay essentially completely the same. All these teams lost that should have lost, and so they're all staying consistent there. Jaguars at 29, Titans at 28, Raiders at 27. Like I said, we're going to fly through this quicker this week and kind of just show where it is. You guys let me know if you like this format more, and then I guess we can discuss it in the comments. Giants, Dolphins, Rams, Jets, everyone's kind of just staying pat. They lost where they should have lost. The Cardinals kind of got blown out by the Packers, and the same with the Saints. Losing quarterback Derek Carr is kind of a hard thing for them too, so they've dropped a little bit. Seahawks dropped a little bit. And this is where I'm talking about. The Colts and the Packers needed to come up a little bit. The Cowboys looked terrible in their loss, so they had to come down a little bit. And then there you are with the Colts and the Packers coming up a little bit above those teams because they clearly showed they're above that. And then the Eagles are coming down out of the power rankings because the Niners had to come up into the power rankings. So that's the big difference there is some of these teams, most of the teams stayed pat where they were. This is the non-playoff rankings right now. And other ones needed to come in, like the Niners needed to come in. So, and then like I said, here at the beginning of the playoff rankings, 7 AFC, 7 NFC, there's going to be some that probably shouldn't make it over some of those NFC ones, like the Packers or the Eagles. But the Chargers and Broncos are sitting there at the bottom. They flip-flop spots, +1, -1, because of the game they played. And the Broncos did show some fortitude coming back in that game. But still, if this was a true power rankings, not a 7-7 power rankings, probably the Eagles and the Colts or the Packers would come into 13 or 14. But I'm staying firm, 7-7 from each side. The Niners come up 4 spots. The Bears move up 1. Falcons move down 2. Commanders move down 2. But you can't move them too far down because that was a really good game against the Ravens. Steelers coming up, Buccaneers coming up, and then everybody at the top is going to stay firm, stay where they're at because everyone won or was on a bye. So there's the final result of the top 7 from each conference and where they stand. I feel really good about the rankings right now. I feel really good about where they stand. The only thing that has to be explained is right here. 13 and 14, like I said, AFC has to have 7 in the top. So this is where we stand right now when really it should be more of a Eagles and Packers probably at 13 and 14, but that's not the way the playoffs work. So just to be consistent, it's going to be 7 from the AFC. You got the Chiefs, you got the Texans, Ravens, Bills, Steelers, and then Chargers, Broncos. So really the top 5 from the AFC are solid, and then you've really got a big drop-off after that. And then for the NFC, you got the Vikings, you got the Lions, you got the Buccaneers, you got the Commanders, the Bears, the Niners, the the Falcons. And really, you could put in there the Eagles and the Packers before the Chargers and Broncos, but I'm staying firm, staying consistent, 7-7. All right, let me know your thoughts on the rankings, how we did this week, who was in and out. I understand right there, 13 and 14, that's where they're going to have the biggest quabbles and the biggest problems people are going to have with this video. They're going to say the Eagles and the Packers should be in there, and I agree with you, but understand the basis of my videos. You've got to have 7 and 7. So that's why it's done the way it is. So other than that, let me know if you think someone is misplaced, if someone's really excelling or is going to break out, if there's going to be breakout potential by a team, if a team's going to start cruising that I don't have listed here, because this is about potential too. Obviously, I've got the Bengals ranked in certain places. They didn't move up or down even though they won because I had them ranked off potential. And the same with the Bills, and they didn't move up or down because they won when they should have, even though that was a really close game. So let me know your thoughts in the comment. I want to get interactive on this one. I want to see your guys' thoughts. If you like the shorter, condensed, sweeter, cruise-through video, if you want a longer, in-depth analysis on each one, we can make this a whole hour video if you guys want to. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, hope your teams do well, enjoy the games, and we'll see where we end up next week.